and then we got to get some work done. Part of me wants to get like other tasks done because I don't want that falling behind. Versus the suit customization stuff. Why is nobody talking about how the Oblivion remaster is on UE5 and it has Lumen and clearly Nanite? Is it on UE5? Yeah? They'll just blame the bugs on UE5 then. Don't worry. It's the perfect scapegoat. It's the perfect scapegoat. They'll just blame all the performance issues and everything on UE5. Not on Bethesda. The displacement on the walls is nuts. I don't see it. To be honest. Like if it was Nanite, I feel like I would have probably expected this hay to be a lot crazier. It's a classic remaster project. The original engine is running under the hood, but the renderer is UE5. I don't think it works that way. I don't think it works that way. I don't think engines work that way. I'm gonna be honest with you. Delta. I don't think engines work that way. Maybe if the original Oblivion was written in C++, they could have potentially reused some of the code, but if I were to guess, they probably just rewrote everything. But just kept some of the assets and whatnot. UE5 serving as the graphical layer, but the Oblivion remaster is running original game logic under the hood. Virtuous described it. Oblivion's original engine serves as the heart, but UE5 is working as the body. That's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. that's so much BSing. So they're just using UE5, but they're using the original code from the Oblivion game. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, considering how fucking buggy it was? Guess we'll find out in the days to come. They're just reusing the code, but they're using UE5. You can't just have two engines unless you somehow mesh them together. Yeah, you can't just magically use two engines at once. Beats having to re-implement everything, I guess. The thing is, they did redesign some of the stuff based on what I saw in the breakdown. Like, they changed up some of the things. Like, so... yeah. Anyways, last time we were here, I attempted to make a feminine customization option, and it's not going well, man. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. It's not going well. I don't know how to make this look feminine without it being gooner. Or just in general, I don't know how to make it feminine. I don't know. I don't know how to. I literally don't know how to. It doesn't help that our character doesn't have fucking eyes. Doesn't help that our character doesn't have any eyes. Let's look at woman references. You know what, man? I just don't care enough, to be honest. I'll try, but I think it is time for me to move on. Shall I take some screenshots of Oblivion? Hey, sure, man. Go ahead. Let's see them. Let's see how pretty the game looks. You're harmless. The arms are way too big? What do you mean by the arms are way too big? It was X. Which software do I use for managing my game design? I guess Notion. Notion. I'm gonna be honest. Even if it is using nanite, it just does not look very good to me. Like, I don't know why. I think it's because they were trying to stay a little bit in line with the original art style as well, not trying to go too far out, right? Like, the stones are really glossy and everything. And it doesn't look like they're wet, they just look like almost plastic. Yo, Bart! Yo, Bart! See, like, I feel like if this were in nanite, I feel like they would have added more crumbly bits. This just looks like, it just looks like they brought in the original mesh, beveled it a few times. It almost looks like Lego. Well, no, it doesn't look like Lego. That's incorrect. I think that's just the art style. I think they just want like they're just kind of going for like it's just glossy, I guess. And that's kind of like the art direction of it. I like the rust on the door though. You know what's also really bugging me? It almost looks like there's a huge variety of texel densities going on right now. Like, I feel like the door has a higher texel density than literally everything else in here. That wall isn't normals though, it's actual protruding geo. Dude, it looks like, oh, I don't know. Never mind. I'm just negative. I'm just gonna say it doesn't look very nice. It might just be the very high roughness value, the very low roughness values that's like throwing me off. I can see here. This looks nice here, like on the left side. Not the Discord call. I meant the details because I don't see the roughness, glossiness. Yeah, these are the feminine style heads. These are kind of masculine. I think this was my first attempt at a feminine style head. And then I just tried to use a reference and it didn't go too well with these here. The side profile looks good, I think, but yeah. Anywho. Oh well. I think overall, I think Oblivion, the remake or the remaster, it looks cool. I don't know. I just don't like Bethesda. Just don't like. I, I'm not a Fallout fan. Elder Scrolls is okay, but I think it's personally kind of a little bit overhyped. One more. Let's take a look. Let's see. From a side view, it looks definitely looks better. But man, I can't get over the glossy look. You know what it is? It's like using new tech and still keeping a bit of that retro feel. Some of that old-fashioned feel. You know what I mean? It's like they're using new tech but keeping older textures. Almost. Yeah, like the textures are low, like a little bit low, right? But I think in doing that, they kind of find a middle ground between new and old, I guess. You know what I mean? Running it on low. Phoenix, are you running it on low? Is this on low settings? I don't think low would have tessellation, right? I feel like low would not have tessellation. That would be weird. Low on a 4090. Well, it's Unreal Engine 5. You gotta run it on low. What is this? Did you just change the body proportions a bit? Yeah, I don't know, man. We could do that, but the problem is I just don't want to fuck up the skeleton by adjusting too much of the proportion. That's my only concern. Oh well. The clothing looks cool, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? The clothing looks good. We're gonna put some cloth physics. And it's gonna be fantastic. I got a button. It's like really annoying me. What is next on the chopping block? Inspired body armor with big leather coat. So I think that's this idea. Big trench coat, which is almost very, very similar to our current design. Am I crazy? You guys see the little slots for where the buttons would go through? Where are the buttons? Where's the buttons? Where are they? Where did they go? It's almost like the buttons aren't there. It's on the inside. It's a special design. No, I think they're ripped off or something. I don't think they're there anymore. You know what I might do today? We might just move on from the suit customization for the day. And let's do a couple of these things. A couple of these things if we can. Maybe even this stuff here. Whatever this entails. Among Us crossover when? Sorry, I'm not a popular enough indie dev to get an Among Us crossover. Unfortunately, I'm not at that level. I need to make a gajillion dollars first. RPG icon credits. Okay, so hold on. I gotta do that because it's pretty important. So let's go to our credits, which by the way is absolutely awful to add anything to this. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Um, let's do this. I'm gonna take this, put this here. Take the spacer, put that there. Dude, I hate doing this because I don't even know what the fuck I'm writing. Hold on, I gotta. I gotta remember which some of the icons, where some of the icons are from. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can't wait to grind the achievements as the game releases. I gotta add a few achievements to the game, actually. There are a few I wouldn't mind adding. Um, I already guess I used a few from there. I think. Playing a game by John Howard, or is it John Bethesda? I think in this case it would be John Bethesda. Oh, whatever. I think that's a relatively good credit. I have to double check some of the icons, where they come from. Sure, that works with me. All right, cool. Mark it off. Middle name John, $40 Bethesda. $40? You kidding me? Brother. More like 50. You kidding me? John, buy the deluxe edition Bethesda. Layout, cosmetic unlocks throughout the game. We also need to create icons for all of these cosmetics. I hate this. I am going to have to learn in the future how to like create dynamic icons of this stuff, because there's no way for like the zombie game, for example, there's no way I'm making all of the items like I'm taking screenshots of them. Hell, it actually is probably better that I don't take screenshots and use textures for every single icon. That probably uses up more space than me using render target textures that are like in the memory for like a temporary period of time. You know what I mean? About the deluxe edition because I'm a sucker, but legit my favorite game. Hey, if you like it, by all means, hey, go for it. Hell yeah. It just wasn't for me. It's not for me personally. I would maybe try it out, but like, I don't know. It's just not for me these days. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a big fan of the Bethesda games. I think if I were to play an RPG, I'd probably just want to make my own. I know that sounds weird. I'd rather go through the endeavor of making my own in a weird way. Simple bullet penetration system. Fix up two-way pathing in the city square, make the other side aggro when the player gets halfway. Okay, so we have a problem where our rating system relies on you wiping the entire level. And in some cases, that's shit. So, I want to find a way of making it so if you go one way, the other side of enemies will aggro you. So this guy is like way too off to the side. Yeah. So that's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan. We need to fix up the design problems that we have. So aggro box. I do, luckily, have an actor for this called enemy aggro box. Now, here's the problem. Maybe I do this. I make two boxes, which is really going to be annoying, but maybe I do this. I take two boxes in this really ugly level. I will admit, it's kind of an ugly level. And once you get semi-halfway, we aggro the other side. Yeah. Do your enemies have comms? They can just call each other and call for backup? No, they're not that smart. They're not that smart, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they are not that smart. I'm thinking this dude, we can bring him closer to the exit. That guy's way too far. Bring this guy in. Sounds like something for the next game? Perhaps. Perhaps. I just want to make sure these guys run properly towards where they need to go. Okay, so I would say we need to grab this guy. Grab this guy. I hope I don't double pick a guy, but I don't think that would cause any problems even if I did. Here's something I don't like about doing this though. This will make it so all of these enemies literally attack the player all at once. Like they'll go and engage the player from behind. But I don't think that's like a huge problem. We double check and make sure that this aggro box checks if they're valid. Yes, okay. Not a huge issue, I guess. But this should help at least a little bit. Let's see here. We get this guy, get this guy. If you miss any of these enemies in the center, that's a skill issue, I guess. I don't know. I suppose that's a skill issue. I don't know. We already have that Merc? Yeah, Merc 3. We have Grunt character 28. We do not have Grunt character 28. Honestly, ideally, what would have been more smart is if you go into a box, it deletes the other enemies and then removes them from the calculation for counting towards the score. That just kind of seems like a better idea, but I'm stupid, so I guess we won't do that. No hot dog stand? We got one right here, man. What do you mean? We got a hot dog stand right here. We got all the condiments too. Got the whole shtick. Have I played Stalker 2? I have not. I'm not a gamer anymore. I can no longer take the title of gamer. I am not a true gamer. I cannot take the title of true gamer. It would be wrong of me to take that title. I've seen gameplay of it, of course. Yeah, I've seen gameplay of it. Okay. The annoying thing with this is I don't remember which chapter that's a part of. I want to say this one. Yeah. I want to see how that... I want to see how that area feels. I really should have brought back the ability for me to skip ahead to that area. You know what? I know what I can do. Okie dokie, alright. I gotta fix that physics ragdoll issue. I don't know how that appeared. It might have been when I changed one of those settings in the skeletal mesh. It might have broke the ragdoll. Now it's causing the ragdoll to like freeze. Whoa, it is extremely bright in here. Why is it so bright? I love how the lighting just keeps randomly changing every single time I build it. It keeps doing like random things. Alright, so I think this is the next area. This corridor used to look so nice, and now it just looks like shit. So let's test this out. We gotta keep an eye on which enemies aggro us from the other side. It feels like it takes a little too long for them to aggro. It feels like they take a bit too long to get here. Also, for some reason, 2 of them did not aggro. So that's fun. My system clearly not working. Which ones did not aggro? I don't remember. Grunt character 6 aggros. I think it was this Merc right here. Merc character 5. Okay. Okay. There's clearly something wrong here because they are selected. They're just not aggroing. One bug fixed, 2 bugs generated. Move this guy here. Move this guy as well. Actually, honestly, delete that guy. I think we're going to thin out the enemies a little bit. Because there's just a lot of them. Okay, select the box. Thank you. Thank you. They're selling the horse armor again? Wait, what do you mean they're selling the horse armor again? Like as like an add-on? Like as like a DLC? As a 10 euro deal? Yep, that's Bethesda, all right. I wonder if the enemy's just not activated. Of Horse Armor was one of the first cosmetic DLCs in the original Oblivion. So, is it like a meme? I don't get it. Is it just a cosmetic, or does it like actually provide any... Does it provide anything? Here we have enemy spot player. It supposedly started the microtransactions trend. I wonder if they were the first to do that. I feel like World of Warcraft was the first, or did World of Warcraft do that after that happened? Started selling like add-ons like that. My worry is that this initialized enemy controller isn't being run. Which is my concern. I think we should do initialize enemy controller. And then force aggro. And then that should, I think, work just fine. Okay, problem solved, I think. Maybe? I feel like it feels weird for the sniper to be active, like, right away. I feel like we should wait until we cross the fence. I would have died there. I'm seeing a lot of enemies decaying. I'm seeing a lot of enemy decay. Which is concerning. I don't know if that means they've despawned, and it kind of seems like they did. It kind of seems like they did despawn, man. Part of me is thinking, let's just make a volume that deletes the other side and then removes it from the score threshold. Let me see what enemy decay is doing, though. I don't like the sound of enemy decay. It would appear it's not here. enemy decay. There is a print string with enemy decay. Oh, this is when they die. Okay, so they weren't being deleted. They weren't being force deleted. Welcome back, Delta. How's everything? Well, we're trying to fix things, I guess. We're trying to improve things. What I might do is I might make that box a lot closer up. So then that way we get the enemy engagement way sooner. Let's also see something here. So this is 10, and then this is how many? 16? Let's go ahead and delete a couple guys. This guy here. This guy here. You know, this guy right here. And then let's also grab these boxes and pull them back a little bit so then we aggro the enemies on the other side sooner. I love blueprints. Blueprints are great. Very easy. Or well, easy for me now, I guess. But my next goal is to make C++ easy. That's my next goal. I want to learn C++ to the point where I can look at it and be like, yeah, I know that. And that, and that, and that. That's the next goal, to become the Giga Gamer. Yes, one of us. What is this, a cult? Yes. Oh, okay. C++ is great and all, but I see it for making engines, not to script video games. It depends. If you're gonna make, if you want to make like larger games, like multiplayer games and stuff like that, C++ I think is the way to go. It's not necessarily about, you know, making an engine. It's about just writing more efficient code, and on top of that, there are things that C++ does for multiplayer and replication that Blueprint does differently, and kind of in a weird way. Plus, I feel like if I can learn C++, I will have a lot more control over the engine that I feel like is going in a psychopathic direction. With every update, Unreal feels weirder. Systems in C++, gameplay, and blueprints. I would probably do a little mix of both. I do lean into that direction, but I also think I'm probably going to start doing a bit of gameplay in C++ as well, especially like tick-based stuff. Anything that needs to be replicated, which I'm not looking forward to. Well, I am. I want to do multiplayer, but replication on its own is already confusing, and then adding C++ to that might be a bit of a weird mix, which is why I think I need to make a single player game in C++ first. I think that might be the ideal thing for me to do, but yeah. I do 90% C++ now. Once you learn it's easier to use than blueprints. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, okay? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, I look at C++ code sometimes and I'm like, yeah, I could see why this is like easier to read at times than Blueprint. I can definitely get it. And I can see the appeal of working in C++. My only worry, at least from a streamer perspective, is that I feel like doing more C++ than Blueprint, I think is Could potentially be streamer suicide. Unless I somehow find a way writing syntax code and making that interesting. Game dev is already uninteresting enough. How I'm just gonna shoot it in the foot with syntax coding. At least Blueprints is somewhat visual. Some people can somewhat follow along, but alas, what can you do? Yeah, and Blueprints are so interesting. Hey, at least they're a little bit more interesting. They're visual, all right? There's a little bit of like, yeah, I don't know. It's like satisfactory seeing the lines and the stuff connect. You know what I mean? Hey, Jevin, thanks for the raid. How's it going? It's a little bit more visual. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more stimulating. Yeah, that's the word I was thinking of. Look at Prismatica. No one can follow what he's doing, but the result is amazing. This motherfucker's just putting things together. I don't even know anymore. Fix up the two-way pathing / aggro and the subway utility halls. This level is just built for failure. With our system. I think originally at some point I was going to make it so you have to backtrack and like push a lever somewhere. I think that was the idea. You know what we should do? We should just have a magic door as a stupid thing. A magic door that brings you back to the pathway. So then that way you can clear the enemies really quickly. That should be that should be the mechanic. To get a full clear, you have to go through one path and then the other path. Yeah. Try Android Studio, Java, or Kotlin. I've seen my partner use Android Studio, and no, I've used Android Studio actually. Man, what a load of shit! What a load of shit! What a load of dookie! You want to leave coding? Yeah, that's the thing. Doing game dev. When you do game dev, you want to leave game dev. I don't know why there's so much light down here. This is like so bright. 150 lumens. Let's do 50. Let's do 50. Why is it stationary? Why is this light down here stationary? Psychopathic. You know, I've thought about it. I was like, can you really become, you know, financially rich / stable from game dev alone? Like, should I maybe start doing like, I don't know, start doing what all these like grifters are doing and like start doing like web dev and shit and like making apps and whatever, and then like, I don't know, selling it to a company. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I asked myself that question. I'm like, should I maybe do something else to make money? Just to like to make a ends meet. I'm really tempted to make a door like that's at the end that brings you back to the beginning, almost like a Mario pipe. Like a Mario pipe. So then that way I don't have to aggro the entire other side, because they're going to take forever to get there. So I wonder if maybe I make it so it's like, you go through a door and you reset yourself. Or you go up the ladder and then you end up back over here. It doesn't make any sense, but hear me out. What up, Sass? Oh, but here's the problem. How do I know which side the player went to? How do I know if they went to the right or if they went to the left? Why did I have to make two-way pathways in this game? why did I have to do that, man? Why did I have to do that? Why did I have to do that to myself? Really, why did I have to do that to myself? Or I put a vent that brings you back to the very beginning, and then you can choose which way you go based off of whichever path you chose earlier. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sell legit courses? Man, I don't want to go in the educational space. I really don't want to go into the educational space. I know I've been trying decades, can't really get lots of money. Yeah, I feel like game dev, if you wanted to become like a gajillionaire, which sounds great on paper, sort of, I guess. More money, more problems, right? I feel like game dev is definitely not the way to go. Unless you like just, I don't know, go into business and become a CEO and then get paid ridiculous amounts of money. For like doing nothing. Just want to make enough to live. Yeah, me too. Me too. But I also want to have a family and buy a house. And in Canada, we have like a housing crisis. So like minimum a house where I live is like $1 million, and it's like a shitty house. Just become CEO easy, dude. It's that easy. What the hell? You know, metal. I like the idea of a vent that brings you back over here. I find that kind of funny. I find that to be a funny idea. A vent that you go through and it immediately brings you back, so then that way you can clear the other side. So then that way I don't need to... I think that's a kind of a funny idea. Hold on, I'm trying to think about how we could design this. I feel like cranking out a lot of small games with limited scope but clever ideas is a path to financial stability, but I don't want to do that. I want to scope creep. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Where's the fun in that? Well, there is fun in that, but you know, my ideas are big. I like big ideas. I like big ideas. How are you doing, Metal? I don't know if I said hi. Dude, my memory is horrible. Have I tried Godot? No. No, I have not. And I watched like a little clip of Randy, his like latest video. And I think he made a good point. You know, I think I'm pretty good at the system that I'm using, or the software I'm using. I think I'm just going to stick with it and just power through it. If I have issues with it, I will try to resolve it myself. That's why I want to learn C++. So I probably won't mess around with Godot. UE gets the job done for me. MMO for first game confirmed, best approach. Oh, I tried Flax Engine? No, I'm not going to try Flax Engine. No, I've not tried Flax Engine. Godot is like Unity, but less chaotic. I don't know if that's entirely true. I don't know if that's entirely true. What video are you talking about? I think it was literally just Randy for like 30 seconds. Somebody asked him if he tried Godot, and he said, nah, I'm gonna just stick to like doing what he's doing, which I think is what he should do. It was like, where was it? Somewhere here? Where was it? Oh, right here. Here, let me turn on desktop audio. Hold on. We can play this on the stream. Okay, there we go.
That makes everything run, you know? So it's gotta be done. Did you do the Godot exploration yet? No, I don't think I will, honestly. I think I'm just gonna take what I currently have and just keep working. It's always tempting to like switch to a different tech stack and think that like, oh yeah, things will be better if I go do it over here, but in reality it's gonna be about the same. And like the tech stack isn't the thing that makes the game work. You make the tech stack work. Like Minecraft was written in fucking Java with like,
yeah, anyways, yeah. Dude, I'm just gonna use Unreal. Just gonna use Unreal. At this point, I've invested so much time and energy into this engine. I'll just get better at it. Guy's so based. I hope he doesn't keep switching engines. He just needs to fucking... Come on, Randy, just stick to it, man. Just stick to it. He switched language so many times. Godot for small games is gold. Yeah, so is Unreal Engine, I think. I think at the end of the day, what matters is the person using the engine. And that's really it. It's all about the person using it. Because at the end of the day, I think no matter what software you use, you're going to find pros and cons. And it'll all even out. It all literally balances out at some point or another. Didn't work on his own engine. In the kind of engine framework, using a framework to, like, yeah. I don't know what making your own engine really means anymore. Because there's like so many frameworks and things that you can use and whatnot. Listen, man, I'm at that point in my career where if you want to make your own engine, go for it. But it's not for me. You know? All those your engine, pal. Hey, you watch it. My engine costs money. I thought we were done with the game. Where's my zombie roguelike? Listen, man. Times are tough. All right, times are tough. All right, times are tough. So we get to checkpoint 3. What I think could be kind of cool is we put a vent here that you can climb through. And then it brings you back to the beginning. And then it unlocks this vent to go back to the vent. So then that way, if you accidentally go through it, then you can go back to the beginning. And then that way, we can make it so the player can clear a path and then go back and clear the path again. I have not done a test of this level to see if like we can reach platinum time by doing that. We're gonna have to figure that out. Yeah. Listen, zombie roguelike soon enough. All right. Zombie survival roguelite is coming. It's coming at some point. Part of me has a feeling that I'm gonna work on that zombie roguelite, like zombie survival roguelite, and hopefully it does well enough to the point where I bet you I'm probably just gonna like be like, okay, this is good enough. Do we really need a large-scale survival game to compete with all these other large-scale survival games? Think about it. Like, do we... You know what I mean? I want to try, but at the same time, I'm also like, it's going to be a lot of work to do that zombie survival game. And I'm all for it, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind trying to do it full-time and having income, steady income while doing it, which is why we're doing the roguelite first and then, you know, test the waters. Git bash physics engine and sound and AI and you're done. I don't know if I'd say it's that easy, but you know. Do all the side quests first before making the main game. That's the, I guess that's kind of what we're doing. I guess that's kind of what we're doing. I would love to have a vent that's just the vent inside. But the cap is off. That'd be kind of sick, you know what I mean? The cap is off. Darn. 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 Okay, so here's the idea. God, there's so many stationary lights. This was back when I wasn't doing any like static lighting. It clearly was not a good idea. Okay, so we'll put the vent here, the exit. And then what we can do is we'll do a teleport transition to location. There we go. Checkpoint requirement is 3. Now, if the specified checkpoint is 0, why are there so many breakpoints? What the heck? If the specified checkpoint is 0, oh, checkpoint save. I think if it's 0, it's not going to set it because it's less than the current value. Okay. So checkpoint requirement is 3, which is what we set it to here. That makes sense. And then if you go back into this, you'll essentially transition back to the other spot. Now my question is, if I go here, it for some reason let me go through. I think it's because my checkpoint is like a different value. Yes. Locked dialogue. Checkpoint requirement 3. I think either way, like we were already at checkpoint 3, but I'll put it in just in case. I bet you players are going to see this and get confused by the fact that the vent goes back to the very beginning of the level. I hope it doesn't cause major confusion to the point where people are like, I don't get it. I keep going through the vent and it's yeah, you know what? Where's my arrows? Aha. Yes. There we go. I'm just going to put an arrow, you know, just in case. You know, just in case. You never know. You never know when someone might get confused, right? Okay, there we go. Hey. Add a restart sign above the vent. No, I'm not going to go that far. I'll just fucking... I'll let the player figure it out. If they can't figure it out, then I don't know what to tell you. If they can't figure it out, whatever. Let's do this. Post-process. Oh, dude, this is like all of the old dithering effects and everything. We don't even have anamorphic lens flares in here. We don't even have the interactable object thing in here. So I'm going to add a custom depth pass in here. There we go. That way it glows a little bit so players can realize, oh, it's like an interactable object or whatever. Which way is the camera at this point? Camera's facing that way. Okay. So, when you go through here, we'll send the player back to here. Now, here's the part where it gets a bit funny. Here's a part that it gets kind of funny. This level, I believe you start at the subway entrance, and then you play into this next level. If you die while trying to clear the second pathway, you don't get the clear. So that's kind of a bit of a challenge here. It's a little bit of the challenge here. Kind of sucks, but I guess that's part of the challenge, is like you got to do like a perfect clear, I guess, to get all of the kills. And there's not like an abundance of enemies. If anything, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 9 enemies in this pathway. This guy probably get aggro on you anyways, so I think that'll be fine. Let's see if we could test it out. I think my camera's the wrong way. When do I go to sleep? I went to sleep at like 5 a.m. yesterday. I watched The Accountant, which was actually a pretty fun movie. Okay, so now we should be able to go through here, proceed, go back to the very beginning. And then we cleared by going through the vent. Cool. I like that. That's a cool little neat mechanic. The camera snaps back, which is, you know, not great, but whatever. I wouldn't mind being able to reset that. You know what I noticed though? Why did that enemy not appear? Huh. Get up, Android. If I wanted to make a 2D point and click game, what engine would be a good pick? I heard some people recommend Unity, but I don't know if it's outdated. Is there a better pick? I don't know how to code, but would like to learn. It's for my first attempt at game dev. I'm not the best person to ask for this question because I have not made a 2D point and click game. I have only really used Unreal. I would say give both, I guess, Unity and Godot a try. Give them a try, see which one kind of just vibes. You just do a vibe check, you know? See which one kind of vibe checks with you a little bit, and then you'll, as you work through it, you'll kind of figure out the pros and cons of either one. I created a whole prototype. I want to replace the character, the mannequin, with my own character. How do I do that without messing up my entire anim blueprint? You create a backup. What I would start with is you create a backup of your project before you try to start doing that. Because trust me, that whole endeavor of trying to learn how to replace your skeleton or retarget it and stuff like that can quickly go wrong if you click the wrong button. So the very first thing you do is you make a backup. Or if you're using source control, then perfect. That is the very first thing you do. You create a backup. And then you just try to fuck around with it. For one, what you'll need is a skeleton that is similar to the UE mannequin skeleton. That's why I use AutoRig Pro, because AutoRig Pro can create a Unreal standard skeleton for me. So then that way I can still use my animations and stuff for the most part. It does require quite a bit of setup though. Like if you have virtual bones for your IK bones, you'll have to reset those up on the new skeleton. You're probably going to want to like, my recommendation is figure out how to use the standard skeleton. I gotta rebuild lighting. Figure out how to use the standard skeleton and then just use the UE mannequin skeleton that's there. So then that way you don't have to do like retargeting and all that kind of fun shit. Watch a few tutorials. For me, I watched a couple tutorials, but they're super outdated at this point. And a lot of it was just me struggling myself. It was kind of awful. But that was in UE4, like very old UE4. Nowadays with UE5, they have like better, they have like better retargeting and whatnot, but it is still, I'm sure, a pain in the ass. Yeah. So I'm fucked for the next 3 days at least. Let's go. Yeah, 3 days. Yeah. Not like next 2 months trying to figure it out as you go along. It's not gonna look perfect. Hell, my characters right now, I would argue, don't look perfect. They have tons of little issues that just come with learning how to rig and skin the characters and whatnot. .3D is fun. 3D is lots of fun. Very fun. Lots of fun things to deal with. Lots of very fun things. Should probably change. I'm trying to think here. Should probably change the custom death pass of the other thing here. Okay, I just oh there we go. Okay. Actually love 3D models. Unreal I have issues with. Unreal's not so bad. Do I recode in Unreal? Do I only work with the nodes? 98% of the time I work with the nodes, and then the other 2% I do C++, but that will probably change in the future when I get more into C++. But like a large majority of this game is in blueprints or nodes. Yep. All right. So I guess we technically fixed this level, sort of. Fix up the two-way pathing issue. By adding that return to beginning, we make it so the player can quickly clear both alleyways. Fix up the art exhibit aggro / enemy spacing. I don't know how to fix that level. That one is a... That one's a doozy. That one's a doozy. Using metahumans in game is not a good idea, I guess. I won't say anything about metahumans. For me, I just don't like the look of metahumans, personally. Ow! Elbow! Ow! Oh, that really hurt. Ow. Ugh. Anyways, what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like metahumans personally. I think you can use them now. I think they made like game versions, I guess. I think they made game export versions. Whatever that means. Is it a good idea to try and recreate the snake model from MGS3 to learn? You could do anything to learn. It just depends on what you do with it after the fact. You know, like don't sell it or some. You know, stupid idea. Stick to the donuts. That does make life a lot easier if you just stick to the donuts, eh? Yeah, I get most of my base meshes from like ArtStation and whatnot. And that's where I get most of my base meshes. I think I have a base mesh wishlisted that I wouldn't mind using for the zombie game. Do I have it wishlisted? Well, I had a bunch of outfits wishlisted actually. Oh well, whatever. I don't think I'm gonna buy them. I already did so much work on this shit. It doesn't matter anymore. What was I looking at? Oh, coats and jacket pack. Oh yeah, I had all this stuff wish listed. I think the thing is they're just so high res. I'd have to retopo them anyways, and then do like way more work. I think. Oh yeah, I had this wish listed as like, where did it go? This as like a base. Honestly, could probably look fine with some slight edits. Could probably make do with that for the zombie game. 'Cause I'm probably gonna do stylized characters ish. Maybe realistic world. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do for that game. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that game. Who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, Bluetooth. You don't do a lot of high to low poly stuff or retopo? Not for this game. Not for this game. But I did do a lot of it before this game. Pizza Delta? Rest well. Guess who's officially developer? Hey, congrats, man. Welcome to the shitstorm. Hey, welcome to the shitstorm, man. Hey. Hey, buckle in. Buckle in, man. Is it only Blueprints or C++ also? Like 95% Blueprints and 5% C++? It's a little bit of C++. Just a little bit. Good, Nord. Hope you're doing well. Doing pretty, can't complain. Can't complain. Hope you're doing well. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Burn. 95% building lighting. Yes. I'm even in a GitHub organization and considered staff. Damn, the power at his fingertips. Yeah, I've got staff on my name, on my on the Git repo. My name color is different. I actually don't remember how GitHub works. All right. Okay. Cool. This is darker, and it's also a static light now. Let's check out a couple things here, such as light complexity. Excuse me, what the fuck? Why does this fire have a light? And why is it exposed? Okay. That's good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. That fire right there must have cooked someone's computer. Definitely, they just increased the minimum required specs for this silly, stupid game. Okay. It's mostly blue. Little bits of red here and there. But not like super crazy bad. I think it's doable. Of course, smoke and fire is the issue in terms of shader complexity. Nothing like too huge of a concern. So I think it's fine. This week I'm going to learn everything about Niagara. Hey, don't say everything. Just learn like the basics. Learn a little bit. You know what I mean? Learn enough to get started. Because that's a whole ass job position right there. That's like saying I'm going to become an FX artist, a qualified senior FX artist within a week. I'm on the contrary. For the first time in years, I'm thinking about switching projects out of my own will or taking a break. Hey, take a break. You deserve it. Take a break. What the hell's wrong with the lighting? I bet you the light map on this thing's messed up. Of course. The light map resolution is, of course. The light map is, this is the light map, I guess. I can't be bothered, man. I honestly, I can't be bothered. Just whatever. I can't be bothered. I should fix it, but nah, whatever. Told you Bethesda's releasing some shit? Well, yeah, their life depends on it. course they'd release something. You know what that means, though? Is that they spent all that time working on the remaster when they... I guess maybe it was just a smaller sub-team working on it versus, like, them working on the next Elder Scrolls, which is probably going to take, like, an eternity. They wanted to fuck with this guy Oblivion? I don't think it's necessarily that at all. The remaster was actually outsourced for the most part. I did notice there was a secondary developer name in here. Virtuous. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not a Bethesda, like, I'm not a Bethesda lover. I don't care for Fallout. I don't really care for Elder Scrolls that much. Skyrim was kind of cool, I guess. Kind of, not really. He loves Fallout? No, I don't like... I'm not a fan of the Fallout world at all. Like, I don't like that vibe at all. I don't like the gameplay of it. It honestly kind of just looks like a really polished, basic shit. It's just story, but I don't care for story. So it... Like, I don't really care for story all that much in a game. And the gameplay is kind of subpar of the games. So... It doesn't really... You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care for it, to be honest. Personally, you know, for me personally, it's just not for me. My headcanon is that you played Fallout. I watched a friend play Fallout. Like at his house a long time ago when I was younger, and then I watched gameplay of it, and I just like, it was like just not for me. I watched him play New Vegas, if I remember correctly, and then I think I watched Fallout. What was it? 3, 4, whatever the fuck it was. This is not for me. Not for me. It's not for me. If I wanted to play an RPG, I'd play like, I don't know, Guild Wars 2 or something. Or what are some RPGs I've played? Oh, I'd play RuneScape, I guess. If I really wanted to play an RPG. Or I'd play an ARPG. I enjoy ARPGs more. Or I guess I'd play a little bit of New World. I don't know why I bought the DLC. I have not been playing it that much at all. Yeah, I don't really care for it too much, to be honest. Yeah. Ekit. Meek Roos, hello. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what kind of RPGs I played. I remember I played Skyrim, but I played it on CD all those ages ago. I guess I have 40 hours on Steam, but I'm pretty sure those 40 hours was mostly just me struggling with my GPU just not compatible with the game anymore. Oh, 2018. Nice. Yeah. I felt like I tried the game yesterday. It's been 7 years already? 7 years? There's no way it's been 7 years since I last tried out Skyrim. How boring would it be if we all liked it, though, to be fair? I don't know. I'm not interested, man. I just don't like Bethesda games. I think they're boring. I think they're buggy. They're overhyped, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Am I making people angry because of my opinion? I also think a lot of people are absolutely, because of how Bethesda, their games are so spaced out, I think people are absolutely delusional due to nostalgia. Yeah, I said it. Their perception of a game is way higher than it actually is because their games are so spaced out that you don't even remember what the actual experience was like. Sorry. I fucking said it. Streamer hates gamers confirmed. Yep. Yep. He's not even a gamer himself. I'm kind of like not a gamer anymore. Yeah, Skyrim is kind of interesting, I guess. Oh, you know what a better RPG is? You know what I would not mind playing through? I would not mind playing through KOTOR from start to finish and KOTOR 2 from start to finish. Now that I wouldn't mind playing through. All right. That's an RPG I'll play through. Because I've still yet not been able to completely finish it through. It's just getting past the turn-based combat stuff. I just can't get past that. Turn-based-ish style, strategy style combat. First time Skyrim was basically a masterpiece. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think they were ahead of their time at the time. But nowadays, I think Bethesda is behind and too old-fashioned. And in my opinion, I just don't care for it, personally. I spent more time in Blender Unreal than my entire Steam list. I don't know how many hours I've spent on Unreal or Blender. I'm sure I probably spent, at this point, more time. Probably not. I've spent around 8,000, 9,000 hours in Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy and Jedi Knight Outcast. I think that trumps everything. That's almost a whole ass year in hours. Like, I don't think I've reached that amount of time in Unreal yet. Well, maybe I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. I did stream a lot back then when I was first starting out. And I did spend a lot of time, but I don't think enough. I don't think Star Wars time. Is that a saying in English too? They rested on their laurels. I would not know. Baldur's Gate 3? I've not tried Baldur's Gate 3. To be honest, I don't think it's my style of game either, to be honest. Is Alright. I'm done with this level. Uh-oh. Fix up the art exhibit aggro / enemy spacing. How do we resolve the problem that is this level? This level is so problematic, man. So all of the enemies are spaced out. How do we fix this level? I think one of the ideas was that you start out at a spot and you have to like linearly go from point A to point B. or you have multiple objectives that you have to clear. I think that was an alternative idea. Honestly, we could probably delete this entire spirally moment here because it's just like, extremely uninteresting. Krim, how do you deal with low PC spec issues when your rig is a monster? People say various shit lags. Meanwhile, all I see is 144 FPS. Like, what, in terms of making a game? Or... yeah, I don't know, man. What's the huge turd sculpture in the middle? It's a guy. Do you not see it? It's a guy. It's a guy, just without a head. It's a guy without a head. Huge guy. Enormous guy. How do you deal with low PC spec issues? I don't know. I try not to aim too high. And I also, like, I'm not very good at optimization yet either. Like, I could probably somehow lower the spec requirements for this game and make it perform better, but I'm not 100% certain where the bottleneck is or where the performance issues lie. I know the enemies eat a lot because of their character movement components, so I think we're a little bit more on CPU issue rather than GPU issue. And I've tried to optimize that as much as I can, but still kind of shit. So how do I resolve the design issue of this level? Your game looks like 144 FPS 1440p game for a 2015 computer. That's a compliment. You can just say my game looks like shit, man. You don't have to sugarcoat it, okay? You don't have to sugarcoat it. I get what you're trying to say, all right? I know my game looks like shit, all right? I'm not very happy with the visuals. I'm not happy with the visuals. Like, the visuals don't even look that good for the requirement that you need to run it. How do I fix the design issue here? It's not that bad. It's pretty rough. Some levels look better than others. I would argue this is one of the lesser, not so good looking levels. I also need to, on the topic of getting work done, I need to find the people that gifted subs during the devathons. I don't remember their names. I used to have a notepad and I lost that notepad. I should have fucking backed it up. I'm an idiot. I don't know who needs to redeem paintings and sculptures, and I know Andrew needs, he has a spot, but yeah. What design issue are we talking about? The problem we have here is in our game, to get an S ranking, you need to kill all of the enemies in the level. But in this level, we randomize a specific enemy in random spots to spawn a key card that allows you to go through this door. But the problem is, if the enemy's over here, you kill that enemy and then come back here to get to the door, you might skip this entire area here. And so that's the design issue. We kind of make it annoying to get an S ranking in this level, which really sucks. Yeah. I did everything, art, design, coding. I guess. I don't know. I don't really see that as, I think I've gotten to a point where I don't see that as a feat, personally. Like, I know it is, but I also like, behind, in the back of my head, I'm like, in the back of my head, I know it's a feat, but at the front of my head, at my frontal cortex, I'm like, We can do better. You know what I mean? Maybe move the red door to that far back right office area with a new hallway. It could be a solution. So then you have to, but the thing is, the enemy could spawn here. The suit enemy can technically spawn here. I think it's just the design of the randomization does not suit our game very well. One idea was that we have multiple objectives that you need to get in multiple areas. To then proceed forward. That's another idea. The other idea is we make this level more linear somehow. We make it more linear. The other potential thing is we create a system where we spawn the dude with a key card, and then we only keep a certain amount of enemies in that area, and then we just delete the other enemies in the other areas. And then I'd have to adjust the system to compensate for that. That would be another potential idea. We got some options of different things that we could potentially do. Given that you do everything yourself, the visual/art does look quite good. I think it looks okay. It's passable, but I don't think the game could ever reach, you know how I feel like it could never reach like well, I think design of the game is flawed, so it could never reach a level of marketability that would bring it to like the next level. But I think it's to a point where it's like somewhat acceptable. It looks okay, but I wouldn't mind learning skills and learning how to do things that are big return, small investment, big return. I would love to learn little skills of how to make these areas look nicer. I think some of it for this level is just propping, and also I don't think there's any roughness variation in this level. Yeah, we don't have any grunge decals, so that would probably add a bit more detail as well. There's a huge lack of roughness variation though. And additionally, the lighting also is like really dark and kind of meh. Not the best thing in the world. Like what we could do is, let's go to our post process real quick here. I don't know if it's going to affect it in this view. It does. I don't think that really helps it though, to be honest. Meh. What's the fog set to? Does it have volumetric fog? No. We probably don't want to. I don't think I want to enable volumetric fog. Is the game top-down as well, or just during development? It's top-down as well. It's top-down and third person. I recently added third person. I know, a bit weird, but I also added third person, so. Erp. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's tough. This is tough. It's tough. Tough. Very tough. It's almost like we need to section it off. Or we need to like cut it in half. And by cut it in half, and I mean like if the enemy that you need to kill spawns somewhere on the left side, then we despawn the enemies on the right side. I don't know. I don't know. One thing that we could do is close off the entrance, force the player to go left or right, so that they have to go through the hedges, the hedge mazes, and then we just close the front entrance. Right? That could be an idea. We close off the front entrance. That means you have to go through here and navigate around, which might be better. So what I could do is like put like a metal gate in front of here or something. And that could be kind of a little interesting workaround. Then the player has to go through these hedge mazes. That could be one thing we could do. Yeah, I think I might do that. I might close this area off. Doors 01D. Yeah, I think this is the plan. We close off the front entrance, forcing the player to go in the side paths. Then we can do fence. It's gonna need a big. We're gonna need a big fence, guys. We're gonna need a pretty big fence here. It's like a security fence. We didn't really need that big of a fence, actually. Okay. I think that works as an idea. It's like it's closed off or whatever. So then we force the player to go either right or left. We might want to put some lights in these directions to really lead the player in either direction. But if they can't figure it out, then they're hopeless. I don't know what to tell them. If they can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell them. Okay, so that closes off the main entrance. And the player can still go through here. If anything, maybe we put a little secret somewhere here that you can pick up or something. I don't know. And then we go through like that. Okay, sorry. I'm just reading some work stuff. Oh. Got quite a bit of work stuff I gotta fucking attend to. Hey, I wanted your opinion on something. I'm starting to make a game and I wanted to know if you think it's best to just create all the mechanics and stuff to the game and then add online or stop what I'm doing right now. I'm making online. To answer your question, I would say you're going to want to do online first because your entire integral system is going to rely on doing online first. And you're going to have to rewrite a lot of code to make it work for your whatever server model you're doing. I won't be like, maybe you shouldn't do multiplayer because it's very challenging. So I'll just answer that question and leave it there. Yeah, you're going to want to probably work on it from the get-go. If you're doing an online proper, online system. Because you're going to find a lot of hiccups if you end up pushing it off to later. Why is it that this room has the dark interior? Why is it that we're not just using the like architectural walls? I don't get why we're doing that. I guess it's to hide this room. I don't know what this original material was. I'm going to assume it's Mansion Gray. I really don't need that pillar edge anymore because we're using an actual proper wall mesh. I might delete that. Yeah, I think if you're wanting to do multiplayer, it's something that's very integral to the very beginning of you starting your code base. At least in Unreal, that's kind of how we have to picture it because you have to basically create all of your events, recreate all of your events to work with client and server. Yeah. I think that pillar probably could have stayed there. Ah, whatever. Whatever. I'm gonna have to rebuild lighting in this level though. Maybe I could just rebuild it while I try to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. Because I still don't know, dude. Let's build a medium. We don't need a high build. Oh man. I got a lot of things I'm gonna have to do after this. It's in Unity. I don't know how Unity does its online networks, but I think you'd probably want to. I think with any online system, you'd probably want to take it into account when it comes to coding your systems right off the bat. I think that would be best. You forget about multiplayer, call it a day, and then you got to deal with AI. The trick to making a good game is just don't bother with any of that shit. In fact, the trick is to just not even make a game, actually. That's the real trick. The trick is you get rich and don't need to worry about making a game. You just pay someone. Ah, yes. The Elon Musk way. The Musk method. Turn it into a fine Italian meal in no time. I love lasagna. I love lasagna. I haven't had lasagna in... Or at least Italian lasagna. I haven't had Italian lasagna in a while. The Musk method, but for making games. What happened to that Musk AI game thing that he wanted to do? What's the deal with that? Was that just some grifting bait? Some investor bait? Musk can't even play games, let alone make an AI that makes good games. Oh, that whole Diablo thing is so funny, dude. Or I guess PoE. Just in general, ARPGs. All right. Nice. Fix that room a little bit, I guess. Man, I gotta figure out how we're gonna do the design of this. That's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a real problem. What are some other levels that are gonna be huge culprits of this design issue? Of multi-pathways and whatnot. I think these are the biggest ones. I don't think there's any other level where there are multi-pathways. So I think it's okay. I think we're good. Hotel is an arena level. Catacombs is a linear level. Dragon Breath. I think we fixed that a little bit. Tiramisu. Linear level. Alpha. Who are you for? Russia or Ukraine? Why ask the question? I'm for Canada. Shit's fucked over here. Yeah, I don't think any other levels have multipaths. Oxtail kinda is open, but not as much as those. Shipping is basically linear. Okay, I think this is the one of the only levels we really need to figure this out. So, be good. Yeah, should be good. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I think the easiest thing would be making it so one half of the level deletes itself. I think this is a good start, removing the front entrance, so you have to go on the sides. I think that's a pretty good start in terms of how I would go about designing this. Yeah, cool. It's a start, I think. I think we are going to have to make it multi-objective or something. We're going to have to do something. Something needs to be done in this office room. Now, I don't know how I'm going to bring the player over here, but we got to figure out something. I'm going to figure it out off stream, though. A little bit of a shorter stream today. I got to figure out food, whatnot. And then I got a bunch of like contract work stuff that I need to figure out. But we made a little bit of progress today, fixed up some of the levels. I don't really know if we did all that much, to be honest. We didn't get all that much done today. So I'm going to have to do some stuff off stream, I think. Get a little bit of work done off stream. I need to get this done by this month. Like, we're close to done on the character customization, kind of. So that's good. At least in terms of making unique meshes. Doing the color variations, that's going to be easy. Like, that's not going to be a problem, honestly. We got a few bugs we need to fix. We need some new enemies that shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, I'll just try to get more done within these days. Try to condense more within the days. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Do new episodes of Andor today. Yep. Or new season, I guess. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for looking. I'll let you guys know what I work on or what I finish tomorrow. I'm probably going to try to fix this up. Maybe try to do one of these customizations. I don't know. I'll try to. I got so much contract work I need to do too. Why did they have to both align? They just both had to align. I'm gonna try to avoid doing an options menu. Maltello, if you're in UE, Dude, I 100% recommend you get auto settings. Trust me, it makes creating an options menu like a breeze, personally. I really think it's like, that shit's easy. All right, anyways. Goodbye, everybody. Take it easy. Yeah, auto settings. Yeah, pick that up. Not sponsored, but should be. All right, goodbye.